Well, hey, good morning. Jen here. If you're new in the academy, then one of the things you may not know is that on Friday mornings, I do quick lessons sharing the teachings and the mentoring that I got from Marianne Williamson over the past year as I did her Miracle Minded Coaching Certification Program, which is founded, or a lot of her teachings come from A Course in Miracles. And for me, I do not know how I would have necessarily made it through the last year without some additional supports in my life. It was a tough year. So as if you were on the call yesterday, you probably know, or if you've watched the replay, you know that I had a hard day. My daughter was homesick, my son got suspended, and I want to talk about how do we manage all of the stuff that gets thrown at us when we don't expect it, or it's emotionally upsetting. So let's just back up for a second and talk about how we get to respond is everything. And we are at a place in the world right now where we need more love than fear. We need more graciousness than anger. We need more presence than distraction. And there's something about knowing when you are uncentered. That is the time when you are uncentered, when you feel whatever it is that makes you know you're uncentered. And I could completely feel it yesterday. I felt uncentered. I was angry. I was confused. I was shocked. I had all these feelings. That is the time that you stop. That is when you stop. You don't do anything in those moments. This is an aspect of being mature. This is an aspect of growing our emotional resilience, our emotional maturity. This is how we demonstrate that we have it. This is how we keep our presence. We don't fly off the handle and we don't react. We give ourselves time to process. Because here's the thing, when somebody messes up in your life, whether it's really close to you or distant to you, there's a lesson for both of you in that. The lesson is for both of you. That's why it's happening, right? So the lesson, this wasn't just what happened to my son. This was a lesson for me as well, as who am I going to become as his mother in these moments where there's challenges and he's trying to grow and learn. And does my anger, is that the best medium for he to grow and learn with? No, of course not. Of course not. Now, the beautiful thing is I had 2 hours where I was teaching before I could see him. That was my pause. It was for sure it was a container that I already had established. I didn't create it, but it was there for me, which was everything. And so when the goal here is to learn how to find your non-reactivity. And this goes right down to the basics of having an emotional reaction and not engaging in emotional eating. Right? This goes to having the wherewithal to hang on to your presence, to go, I'm uncentered right now. What do I do when I'm uncentered? Nothing. I need to get centered first. And from that place of being grounded, from that point, I can make a better decision. So here's the beautiful thing. There are, one of the things we talked about, this is probably a week ago now, is so often we're looking out there, who's doing what, right? We're looking outside of ourselves. But the thing is, what we need to understand is, well, what's our part? What's your part in the conflict? What's your part in the problem? What's your part in the challenge? Because you do have a part. And that was my next step yesterday was, okay, where have I gone wrong here? What have I done? What can I do better to support this growth process for my children? I had to look within. And what we have to look at, these are the good questions. So if you're writing this down, what are the lessons for you? Who are you being? What are you doing? What is your energy? What are you saying? But what is your tone? That what you say is not nearly as important as how you say it. Gosh, that's taken me a long time to learn. So here's the beautiful thing. When you are deeply connected, spirit will always give you a way to say something without it being an attack. You can say hard things and you can give hard feedback. You can take a stand, but you can do it in a kind and loving and respectful way. You can honor who you want to be. And these are the polarities of our personalities, right? Can we be kind even if we're angry? Can we be a little bit softer when we want to be harsh? Can you be gracious where you've been unkind? Can you be sincere even when you're embarrassed about something, And I think that, this is where we get to look at ourselves and go, am I being the person that I need to be, that I get to be in order to transform aspects of myself that will then have this positive ripple effect on the rest of my family, my community, my world, right? That's really what it is. Are you being the person that you need to be? And who are you behind closed doors? Who are you when no one's watching? Who are you? And are we congruent with who we want to be and who we're actually being? It's so powerful. It's so powerful to ask this, right? And so this is where we want to understand that there's no situation that does not involve some sort of, Marianne would say, spiritual lesson. I think a lesson absolutely is in there. So there's no situation that does not involve a spiritual lesson or the ability or an opportunity for you to establish or reestablish a new kind of way in which you want to be, holding deep respect for yourself and integrity. I mean, how beautiful is that? Like, that just gets me. And so what I want you to think about is there's probably some areas of your life that maybe you need to clean it up a little. Maybe we need to do a little housekeeping internally, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, behaviorally, right? You know, those little behaviors that get you, the ones that kind of bite you in the butt by Monday where you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. Don't have the regret. Take the pause in order to change the behavior so that there's no need to have regrets. This is the power. And this is where, this is where we get to be that extension of love to ourselves. And as you become a greater extension of love to yourself, it is so much easier to become a greater extension of love to others, even in the midst of conflict or tension or disagreement or whatever may be going on. That is the beauty in it. So, for me, I was able to have some time. I had a pause. I was able to go and meet my son, and I did not do it perfectly, by the way. I was 80% good, but I had about 20% in there that I probably could clean up a little bit. If I could do a do-over, I'd take it. But that's the beautiful thing. We always get a do-over. I'm always able to connect with him and to own my share and be like, I probably could have said this in a different way. And I was very clear in being able to say, I can love you and have these feelings, and we need to be able to talk about all of these things right now. And what a beautiful thing, because so often the fear when we're in conflict is that someone pulls away their love. Maybe you even do that. Maybe you withdraw. Maybe you pulling away your love from someone who loves you and that you love is one of the most painful things you can do to someone. It really is. It's cruel. It's threatening. And then that person isn't safe. They're not safe. They need your love. They want your love. They think you love them. And then you pull it away. It's very, very, very destabilizing when you're in any kind of, personal relationship. It doesn't create trust. It doesn't create goodwill. It doesn't create the ability to be real. Because now it's like, oh, I can only act in ways that you find pleasing to get your love, which means I'm going to have to amputate parts of myself to get your love, and therefore I'm not showing up whole. I'd rather show up whole, flaws and all, have a person see me, know me, keep their love for me, but then express their concerns or their irritations with me. Are you with me on that? Do you understand what I'm saying there? I hope so. Being able to love, stay connected with love through conflict could literally change your life. Most of us get mad, defensive, arrogant. We go to the whatever, and but it doesn't serve you, doesn't serve them, doesn't serve the conflict. In fact, it only deepens it, right? Because more wounding, if you're coming from the wound, if something hurts and you come from the wound, all you're creating is greater wounding. So lovelessness met with lovelessness creates more lovelessness. Lovelessness met with loving response creates love. Okay, the lovelessness does not cancel out the love wins. So some thoughts this morning, Friday, as we head into the weekend. If you're just watching this one, there's about 20 other spiritual lessons on a private playlist in YouTube. I'm not an expert in this. I'm a student. I'll be a forever student, but I certainly love to share, the things that are on my mind as I well, as I commit to, I guess, being a better person, right? I'm having a tough time talking with my son. Okay, yeah, yeah. And so to see him in his light, not his darkness, see him in, I thought about this yesterday, whatever my son did, and the details are not really all that relevant. I'm just making sure I can see comments better here. There we go. Okay, great. Yeah, Haley. Morning. So see them in their light. When you see the person and the truth of who they are, not with the actuality of how they're behaving, that creates a gateway. It creates a gateway. And we need to be able to take off our expectation, our judgment, our what we think we see, because pretty much what we think we see, it's coming through a filter. It really is. Whatever my son did, he did it out of confusion, out of wanting to fit in, out of wanting friendship, out of knowing right and wrong, but feeling insecure about his own leadership. And I mean, how many of us have felt that way? Oh my God. How many of us, that was my car. I've messed up in my life, and oh man, it hurts to mess up and it hurts to hurt other people. But these are the moments where we have character shaping or character defining moments and opportunities to learn. So take it for what it's worth today. Love it's not a doormat. Doesn't mean you tolerate bad shit. Doesn't mean you tolerate bad behavior. No, I do not tolerate. But I can communicate in a way where he knows I love him. And I have the ability to do that with all people in my life. But the trick is to manage my emotional response first and not communicate when I'm emotionally hijacked. Okay? So let me know if these are helpful, if there's something else that I can share that may have some positive impact in your life or in the relationships that you're creating and living right now. And just sending so much light and love, right? If you know what I talk about, light and love, fear and darkness. There's a lot of fear and darkness in the world right now. There's a lot. Social media is full of it, the news, all of it. We can be and hold space for light and love. And I promise you, it's a greater force over here. We need more people in light and love. So start today with your own self, and then extend it to your families, and then extend it to your friends and to your community, energetically speaking. All right, we'll see you on Tuesday. If not before, we're doing pizza night. So if you want to know how we do pizza night, how to count it, all that good stuff, watch for the Facebook Live. I think we'll be doing that. I'll send a post out when I know. I got to talk to my hubby and my kids and see what's going on here. Okay, everybody, I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for being here. Deb, I know you're on too, so good morning. I hope you're having a good day.